Okay, we'll start right on time. Okay, let's see if this continues working. Welcome. Hope you guys are doing good. Let's see. Okay, that's just me. My phone's saying that I'm live. So that's fun. Hang on while I let you guys know that I am live. Do that, and then do here. I'm joking already. Cool. Okay. Bop. Get back over there. This is exciting. Okay. Now I'm ready. Okay. It's always have something in the drawer. I think we're good. Okay. Bop. Okay. Welcome. Hi guys. Welcome back. We should be able to get through here, where we were, but on the topic of last time, sorry if, it was the CAPA thing and the FTC and all of that was just on my mind for, it still is. I think I'm just going through, the latter half of grief where I think I'm currently just trying to bargain right now, at least with myself, that it's gonna be okay. Yeah, so last night, I think it was, what to be able to say? Oh, that's okay. All these should be VODs afterward, unless that gets taken down too. Or just becomes invisible or unsearchable. So, yeah. Sorry, Kitty, Cookie, and Star. How you guys doing? It was just on my mind, and it still is. It's just gonna be a lot of work to be able to figure out what exactly the law wants me to do. So hi, Allie. I'll try not to talk about it the whole time as much as I did last time, which was over 90% or more. It was about the CAPA discussion. So I feel like there's not much more to say about it, hopefully, until they have the big vote or hearing or something they'll have. That's when they'll supposedly hear our comments that we left on that board or something on the FTC website. So if I could rewrite it, I rewrite it as more like trying to say more specifically, to be more specific with like some kind of channel or something specifically to like call someone out essentially, so then we can like say like, oh, this is an example, like if it's Ryan's World or Blippi or like one of those, or like finger puppet ones, it's like, okay, I know what kind of genre and what exactly that is, but if it's just like this general like a cartoon, kind of thing, then it's like, does that really count, as much as one of those kinds of a Blippi or something? That's what I want to be more separated, or at least put in the same pile, or because right now it's just kind of just like it's got a bright color, which means equals kid is right now what the situation is. So right now it's just totally vague of not knowing what if I'm fall into this bucket that's just like everything, or if it's like we'll have a separate bucket just for these people more so than the other ones like me or other cartoonists, which makes more sense, like the that adult more cartoon with the that we were talking about with Do It Star wanted to not mention it. That would technically for right now go into the kids channel or kids made for kids box, because it has a cartoon thumbnail. It doesn't have bright colors, but it also has a cartoon, so it's like it is very iffy of like where on that spectrum it goes. Because I feel like it still is like a spectrum of like from like early development, kind of sing along stuff to the adult pilot show. So it's like where I'm like in the middle is the problem. So it's like wherever you want to like put this line in, it's like the cutoff point of what it is what I'm trying to figure out like right now. It's like trying to wade through the waters of just not knowing, you know, where this metaphor is going. So I think that's about it as much as I can probably just want to talk about for now before we get too off on that again, which I'll probably just have to stop myself before I get off on that. So there's nothing at that point. Hello. Let's see what we got so far here so we can get back on task of figuring this out. So we got about halfway through the line art. Oh, the other thing was that I did, as you see, like I got the line art colors. Let's get that in. There we go. Remember like last time on Tuesday I had trouble not being able to fill it in, so we actually figured out how to do it. And I think there's a fill button for maximum gap that you can't see. It says maximum gap and it has this scroll bar thing. I think it's per frame, hopefully. Or I could just set it up to be whatever it needs to be, or figuring out where to, not really vertex points, where to vector points go. So if they don't connect enough, like if there's a space between like here and here, like that's too much. Like if it's supposed to be a shape that's supposed to connect somehow, then it's like that's not gonna connect. This is a horrible shape to demonstrate it with. But if it's like a big circle with a hole, like right here, then we'll be able to fill it because it's too wide of a gap. But if I set this up to be high as it can be, it still won't connect. So that was the problem, where it just wouldn't be able to connect even if it was connected really close. So still not really. So it doesn't make as much sense as just using Flash. So that's where it's getting a little trouble with trying to figure out how to just erase this now. Because this whole thing was supposed to be a challenge more to get the frame by frame, trying to get that going, as well as using OpenTunes. So I feel like if I just able to finish this as well, then I'll call this accomplished. Oh, I got your lasagna. I'm really so fantastic. I like lasagna. So good in Gips. You are. Okay. But the animates more complicated, it seems. Yes. Because it's essentially each angle, like if you rotate it around, it doesn't really make sense in 3D space. That's why I got all the, even the toys or like the SFM and 3D models don't really make sense as you rotate it because they're designed to have their face, you know, be perfect per angle. I know it's not exactly anatomy, but it's like, it kind of goes through everything else, essentially, is that if you have a face going frontward, then the eyes are up here. And that makes sense. Let's get the nuzzle. There. So the eyes are really close to each other on the front face. But if you do like a side face, then the eyes are like over here and over here-ish. But they're like weirdly spaced apart, and then the nose goes over there. And then if you do profile, then the eye is like here, and then that's there-ish. So it's like the eyes are close together, but as you rotate it, then the eyes are like more pushed backward. Because if it was toward this, then you wouldn't be able to almost see the other one like that. But it's profile, so that doesn't make sense. So Lauren Faust, who like designed it, like made each angle seem to be more cartoony friendly rather than be able to make it true to life. It was a perfect 3D model, I feel. So, and that goes like with anything else. Like the legs don't really make much sense. Or like even if you animate it, like sometimes they're like going like that, but then you also have an arm that's trying to go like that. So like in the same scene, you could have one character have their arm going down like that, but also one going, I don't know, and have their arms going up or like going down. So like they're anatomy of just how to even operate them in the cartoon doesn't even make sense. So trying to look too far into it with stuff like that is not really worth your time, but it's not quite enough to like think that this is correct. Because no animal is going to be able to have a double jointed you know, elbow where it can go either way. So, boy. Reason something in my move. Oh, okay. Pseudoscience astrology. Whoa. Make him look good. Yes. That's just, you know, the generic, like, staple, fundamental of just making them appealing. It's more important than trying to get it too accurate to real life, but like accurate to itself sometimes is important. I'm trying to erase all this. But yeah, it's hard because this is what I pretty much learned how to draw and everything from is trying to at least trying to make it professionally-ish. So it's hard to then think like, oh, don't take these as hard rules. So anyway, what's your name? Oh, cool. Everything stuff I did as a kid. There's a bunch of. Well, I was dumb. I wanted to be like the class clown, so I would always try to make other people laugh. So I think just by nature it would be a little bit less than. I wouldn't be exactly embarrassed by it too much, like as a kid. But I think as I grew older, like more adolescent or more teenager, then probably more would come out. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any. Like, that would be interesting as I try and draw it as good. But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of them. But yeah, as a kid, I always want to make people laugh. So like, all my humor that you hear now is now being the peak where I am. So you can imagine those knock jokes and all those types would be fit right in there. It would always be the knock who's there. Oh, you would say that. knock, and then boo, and then, oh, boo-hoo, and then be like, oh, don't cry, it's only a joke, and that was the best I thought of. That's the only one I've heard. So I guess now it's like, oh, that's cute, but it's like, yeah, when it didn't really land, and that didn't really work. I could think of a couple more. I was into magic, like actual, like, not really, like, I would just describe it like a magician. It's like you would buy all the kits and buy all the toys. And then like one day it was like, oh, let's do a show and tell at school. And I was like, yeah, I can do one of those, you know, toy kids magic set things, and then try and do a couple tricks there. So that'd be a show and tell thing to do. But I think I messed up one of the tricks, or like one of them was, I think you have like some kind of square magic thing. It's really magic. And I think you have like either like a door, or it's like in parts or something, and then you put like a stick in it, and it's a lollipop stick, and it'd be like one color, and then you close it or something, and then you open it again, and then it's like upside down or a different color or something. But I think I didn't quite do it exactly right, or people would like yell out, because they were like only like 5 feet away, or 1 or 2 feet away from where I was performing it. So I was like, they were really close. More close than like close-up magic. And it was mess it up, and then people were like, oh, I know how you do it, and then it's like explaining it and go, oh, you just figured out the whole trick. So I was like, well, the whole thing is I've learned to not supposed to tell people how you do it. So it's like, wait a minute, but you figured it out. But then it's like, that's right. So it's like, oh no. So I definitely got flustered with that. And then it's like, oops, now what? Stuff like that was embarrassing, because like I wanted to do a good job of that, but then that kid got me. I think I kept like all my magic stuff for like years. Only like a couple months ago we started because of the basement flooded. So it I think it was time to just get rid of a bunch of the buckets and toys and stuff that we have down here. And so it's like, okay, let's see if we can get rid of some of this stuff. And it was like, okay, let's start, you know, by getting rid of this magic stuff, because like, do you do magic anymore? Not really. So there we go. For some reason it wasn't filling in last night or Tuesday, so I got one more frame. Got that going. So boop boop boop, and then choose front facing. So this is where again where it's like it's not really making sense as you go, but sort of does. Boop. There we go. Let's see. Doop. Set away all your spurs off. I do not. Really more thirsty this time. Yeah. This is quite the sketch. Let's see if we can fill things out. Okay, so the tail needs to be more over here, I think, and then it rotates back over there. So Nick will have the tail on this side. Let's see if we can go back to here then. It's locked. And then we can get the tail more maybe that way or something, and then get rid of this one. Okay. Try to focus more on this one just so I can get this nearly done, you know. Otherwise it'll be developed for a lot more time than I want to. That's the tail. So, okay. Lock. Go over here. Draw. There we go. Okay. Yeah, well, you know what they say. We wanna. The whole point of this Kappa is to have no kids being followed by cookies or the other way. What is it? We don't want no cookies following no kids. It's just the bare bones of what the controversy is. So yeah, it's just silly with all that we're letting internet illiterate people determine what's okay to do on the internet. It is very similar to what the Europe law is, so at least we're trying to get at least somewhat consistent. But otherwise, it's just not probably the best way to go about it. So, sorry for those in Europe that are having to deal with all these other kid laws as well. But that was another thing. I heard like one suggestion or like some comment saying like, oh, well, why don't we just, you know, have a button to say like, oh, well, when you log on to YouTube or something, then it's something to fact that it's like, oh, can't you just say like, oh, I'm 13 and up, or like have the YouTube or something say like, you know, something to that effect that it's like, well, why can't I just say that I'm 13 and up? And it's like, I think from the Europe laws is that that's not allowed, is that that's too obvious of a thing. So I think that was one of the wordings, or at least my dad has been sort of working on it, because I kind of said like last time that he sort of worked for Fitz, but it's just because he works with like a game studio, so it's like he kind of works on the more the back end stuff. I think he tried to tell me that it's more like a mailing server and other little programming stuff that he does. So doesn't do active development on it, but he's working with a game studio, so it's like, okay. So dealing with that, he has to learn like all the different legal stuff as well. That was like, oh, because he has to do with the, you know, if people email and send like complaints and stuff, then it's like, okay, we got to figure out, you know, how to deal with that, any kind of complaints and stuff. So it's like, has to learn the different rules. And New York law is that you can't get private information from kids, so I guess that's getting translated into American now, and it's like, obviously from the 90s, but it still took a while to become more relevant than it was in the 90s, when it's a little bit less website or things that would be more, less website that were concerned about getting a whole bunch of information from kids. So perhaps I want to talk about it too much this time, but I just gonna bring that up. That's make sure you guys knew that. My dad is not active developer, but he has to deal with this kind of stuff too. So it's like we're able to talk about it, but it's still like, I don't know if he read the rules really. I just kind of explained it to him, so it's not quite probably 100% clear to him either. And I'm trying to explain that it's very, the way that they wrote it was not quite. It's too vague of like what exactly anything is that I've explained before. So I think there's something in my chimney or something. I think we got a lot of birds, and I think it echoes all the way down. I got a chimney over there. Okay. Have I ever had an interest in game design? Yes, I actually got, let me fast forward, that I got an achievement in excellent in my high school for being a most outstanding game designer. So I have a little, like one of those fancy papers that has all the recognition things, whatever we call those. Yeah, not really it's high school, so it's not exactly a degree, but it's like it was like not really a talent show, but like one of those, you get a achievement thing, award show, essentially for high school, and it's like, who's the best football player? Wow, you did great. Who's the best ballerina and singer? I don't think it's exactly a diploma, but I guess a diploma. I've translated that as being college, because I didn't exactly do anything to do it, so I don't think that counts. But I do have that where I can say that I have something that resembles a diploma for high school. So there's that. But a certificate, that sounds right. But I got that like one of the last days of school. It was because I was in that high school like computer lab, game development courses, classes, whatever you want to say that as. So I do have interest in being a game designer, but most of it just kind of jumps back into wanted to do animation and stuff. So it's like doing cartoons kind of took more of a forefront for me. So I don't know. Like, where did it go to get a diploma? But I felt like this was separate because it was like months before we graduated. It wasn't like a graduation ceremony. That's where I think it gets more tricky. It was just like a award ceremony where it was just like anyone who did anything in certain classes would get things. Because like some of them are like really weird, or like have a bunch of acronym names for stuff for other people. There's probably like 30 or so different achievement things. So I don't know what it would be. But if that sounds right to you, then I'll let you go for that because I'm not sure myself. So, but I got that. It's like, because you know, it feels like, oh, I didn't really do anything. I didn't really do any extracurricular things or anything else that any people were doing either. But it just like randomly, like almost halfway through, it was just like, please come to the front. You get a little paper thing, and it's like, whoa, I got a thing. It's like I never really went anything because it's like I never really did anything extra like after school. I wasn't really smart, at least in terms of like academic stuff. It's like I wasn't really planning on getting that thing. It's just kind of stuff like that. So that's yeah. Might remember like what it was. Maybe. Yeah, it must have been big enough that they had all the parents come in. Like they went into the gym. I'll just say that. Let's go into the gym, and parents were there. And I think like mine was just so unexpected that I didn't even expect it. That I just I was in the front row, to be next to my friend at the time. So I was like, I was just, we just kind of just hung up at the front row, and it's like, like, hey, get up here. It's like, oh, okay, hup. I was able to just be right next to the speaker and go, okay. And then I just kind of just turn around and go, that's a lot of people, and then just sat down. So, that might be an embarrassing story. Just kind of just wasn't expecting that. That just kind of it's kind of just happened, and now it all felt like a blur because I didn't really think about it as being real. So, and that was fun. What was that about? Got word something, yes. And then in college, that was the 2-year program that took about 3 years to finish, but that was worth it, where I was able to eventually, because it just took so long that there was like, I had the main curriculum, or like, I guess it's sort of a curriculum of like, do all these things and then you'll get this paper for college. But I was on there for so long that it was just like, eventually like, oh, this sort of thing that I've kind of already halfway done. I just need to do like maybe like 2 or 3 more, and like some other like extra thing that doesn't feel like it goes in there, but it's like, okay. So I just like, okay. So like I just got those courses, and now I got like 2 college papers. So I was like, that kind of worked out well, and it was like, okay. I was able to get that as well. So I feel like it's the same kind of paper, but not really. I myself don't feel like I'm a most outstanding game designer. I just feel like I went through the course enough, like, because as you all know, I'm not good at left and right, so left brain stuff. There we go. So I'm not good at left brain stuff, so it's like over half of it was coding. So being not versed in coding and analytical figuring out problem solving stuff, I was just horrible at it. But I wanted to, prove to my teachers that I wanted to get good at just being able to just follow instructions and just going through it and just having to go past that boundary of just like, I'm not good at this, but I'm gonna keep trying and just persevering through it. And I guess my teacher recognized that, and then probably just put my name in a box and said like, oh, that's, you did good because you pushed past yourself. And I'm sure that's probably why. Just because it was much more than what I'd be used to, I guess, where I would be more comfortable with, obviously, art. Obviously, because I'm not exactly the most freehand artist, but I feel like I'm more of an animator where I can just move puppets around. So I kind of got good at that. So it's more of a test to see if I can even just freehand draw a lot of this. So that's why this isn't turning out the best, because I'm not gonna exactly practice as much in these sketches that I've laid out. Obviously, I'm not following any of them to a T, because they're very sketchy, not close, to what even I wanted to draw. So it gets more complicated with that. But otherwise, let's see. Got your Gen Ed Associate Greenwell. Cool. Associates, I feel, is not worth it. Ceremony for me. Interesting. I did go to a ceremony, so I think I got 2, I guess, from there. Just because it was like, the courses were like all the multimedia, like graphic design, I think was mostly what it was. It was, can you draw in X program? Can you do a website? HTML, CSS, you know, getting really deep into all that. Dreamweaver, just straight HTML. Are you good with all that? Can you, you know, draw a picture and can you make a poster? Was basically what all that was. So that was really fun because I felt like I was able to learn more than just, you know, just if the whole college class was drawing in Flash or something like that, then it probably wouldn't have expanded my, you know, vocabulary of being able to look at type fonts was also big too. They really wanted to push fonts for some reason. And it's a good reason because it goes into a lot of the other design philosophies. That, you know, having a good typeface and good hierarchy and all that extra good stuff makes your designs look a lot better and cleaner. So I guess you can say that graphic design is my passion. So at least for that. So to be a video game boy, I'm not sure if that's exactly the route I do, but like I feel like I have enough skills to like do a lot of range of stuff. So video games could come to practice, I guess, a little bit. That if I needed to, or if I get like an opportunity, or if I wanted to, then I definitely could have that. Be able to do something like that then with video games where I can probably not go into the again left brain stuff of like even just figuring out like functions and what even a variable is. I feel like it's more that stopgap of like trying to think too analytical about analytical things. If that makes sense, that it's like, well, why does the computer understand what a variable is once I've defined it? And it's like, how does it know? It's like, I'm not understanding like even just the core principles, so like able to do anything further than that. I feel like I've always been like some kind of stop pass with that. That it's like trying to do like true or false statements and like if then is computers is just magic of like how this even works. Like even right now, it's just like all of this that I'm drawing is not actual drawing like on paper. It's mathematical like points in space that are being connected, defined by like algorithms and curves and all that kind of other stuff. So it's like what I'm doing on the user end is just, you know, feeling it out of just what I'm doing is just making a line. But to the computer, it's just all these different points, and it's like I'm able to mathematically figure out like between these different points of like where the line should be and how it should be defined, and it goes for everything else too. So it's like that's when it kind of starts to begin like, what's going on? Like, how does this make sense? Like when I draw a thing, like why is it able to compute what I'm doing? So I just have to just ignore it and just kind of just draw. But once you like get into like, let's program a thing. I think well, we kind of played with a lot of stuff in the game design course. It was really fun. I think it was high school. That's why that goes into that with the ceremony thing. So there you go. Hello legit. Hello legit. There you go. So we learned a lot of different programs with that too. That's probably why I got really fun, because it was like, let's learn Unity. Let's learn. Actually, I don't remember the rest of the stuff. Well, it's actually just 3D modeling with Maya. Never really got too good with that. And the first thing that we wanted to draw or model was a human head. So I felt like that wasn't exactly like a beginner's course, is designing a realistic human head. Yeah. So hopefully it'd be nice that with his grading that it's like, okay, maybe that's a bit much for a like beginner course of draw a whole human head, you know. It's like, okay, right. But otherwise I think it was just trying to draw like a model want to say draw. Modeling spaceships and anything else we might have needed in our Unity game. I think we just kind of just use regular, or like the stock Unity stuff, you know, where it's just kind of like whatever the Unity store would have. Unity is the game engine, so once we figured that out, that's like, oh, we just steal a bunch of these assets because we're students, so we can do that. And then just uses anything that we needed or needed to learn about. So that was really fun. That was a really fun time. I wish I would have paid attention more than just trying to wait till we get to the flash chords, where it's like, yeah, I can use my Adobe Animate, I guess, now. Use that knowledge. So I was able to express that as like, I really know more fluent in Flash than Maya and or Unity and or whatever else we used. So I think that's basically the main thing was probably just Unity. That's not a eraser. Unity was fun. We did a bunch of like little small games, like trying to lost my train of thought. It was a maze game, where it was like you get stuck in a maze with a bunch of different doors, and then we would just make a big map of like, oh, you go in this room, and there's like, you know, a door either side. But the big thing was trying to figure out how to program the doors. At least for me, that was like, how does this work? Why do when I say if door equals open, then do this? It's like, I don't understand. Stuff like that, where it's like, okay. Eventually got to the point where like, it got so complicated and I just got lost. I think because syntax was also hugely important, that it was like, oh, if you have a capital version of a variable or function, then it won't work. And it'd be like, why didn't it work? And it'd be like, that's the same word, right? And then it'd be like, nope. You put a capital T instead of a lowercase t, and that's why you're stupid. It's like, no, that's not fair. It makes sense, but it's like, if there's no other variables, it should be magically smart to figure it out, right? No, it's not how that works. So that was kind of annoying. That got to the point where it's like, I don't understand why it's not working. We're working on like a kind of like a Linda-ish course where we kind of just follow through someone else's kind of tutorial, I think, or the teacher was making stuff up with his own variables and whatever. I just keep saying variables because that's the only thing that comes to my mind. To that, where yeah, so it got to the point where it's just like, I don't get it. Is this syntax right? And then he would print out the whole code for like a certain thing. And he'd be like, thank you. Because like just trying to follow it through was like really hard to what he was trying to look for. To be able to just make things work, and it's like, I don't get it. So you can imagine me in an HTML and or CSS class where it was basically the same but worse. Where it's like just trying to code things is just not where my skill set kind of lies. We're just not able to just get through it and go. Not being able to say like, oh yes, I understand why that happens, or why that doesn't work, and why that works. I was not able to say that at all. And then the class was horrible, where it's like, okay class, let's do a pop quiz where no notes, try and do X thing. You got 20 minutes, go. But you get no help, and it's just like, remember what you did earlier? And it's like, trying to apply it to like either a bigger or like something slightly different from what you just did. So I was like, great, I'm not able to use exactly what I did to be able to do it. So I felt like I failed that pretty bad. that was not the most fun with that. And then CSS was just like an extended to that, but it was just like a little bit easier because then it was like more visual. It's basically just like programming the visual language of how a website looks. So I was like, that sort of makes sense, I guess. It was more like, oh, if make font equal hex of like some thing, and it'd be like, oh, okay. You know, the hex spectrum of like, oh, if it's, I think it's 6 zeros and it's white, and then 6 F's is black or something. One of the ways. You just remember exactly. But then it just goes we red, blue, green somehow in there too. So that's the idea. Yeah, take a swig here. Uh-huh. Why did you do that? Yeah. Yeah, I was never really athletic either. I just wanted to draw. So like most of my like assignments would have like doodles of stuff that I was liking at the time. So it'd be like Nintendo or like some kind of cartoon or something. It's like all my math homework would just have like some kind of doodle on it. I'm sure the teachers would love that. Yeah. Otherwise, I was just like, I just want to draw, even though I feel like my fine art skills have gone to trash, that it's like I'm not able to just draw anymore. If my October and all this kind of gives a clue that it's like, this isn't what it could have been. Never really felt actually comfortable with my art. It just kind of just, I felt like I'm a delusional artist where it's like, this is what I'm trying to draw. And I'd be like, that's not right. Or like, not pay attention to like the rest of the pointed stuff, like perspective, anatomy, other fundamentals. And it's like, even like in like one of the first college classes was like an art class. And it's like, I feel like my art teacher was just like, great, you're drawing. You know, it's like, that's great. Yeah, just not really felt too comfortable with that. So, it's all about perspective. Again, that is just like, I guess it feels bad, but it's like, I feel like I'm better than others. So it's like, what am I to worry about? But it's like, that's not the way to think. And I feel like artists are like the worst critics of themselves. So it's like, oh, you know, I could have drawn that better. Or I could have had that effect on top, or that would have made it better. Or choosing different colors or something like that. And be like, it's like, why is it not perfect for me when I look at it? So, which is always what I strive for, like, our best. But it's like, as soon as we don't get there, like, something else is off. Even if it is just the fundamentals of just not able to just draw. It's like, that's a little disheartening that you can never really feel like you've accomplished anything either. That's pretty sad too. And it's like, I just want to, you know, just make sure that just kind of just, it just works. Doesn't need to be perfect or Mona Lisa, because then you start comparing yourself to like other artists, and it's like you'll never get out of it. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm not quite exactly as good as that other person. So it's like, why should I bother then? And it's like, just keep drawing. It's like, this isn't perfect, but that was just a sketch, and even these like other ones are like, these are just trying to make the sketches a little bit better. So I feel like if I did like 10 more iterations, and might slowly become more better, but just to be able to just do this on a live stream and just able to get through this quick as well is that's where this is kind of just coming in. And it's like, it's not quite to be perfect, I guess. You're just trying to think about just what you're trying to do with your art instead. Like, what kind of message do you want to send to people? I feel like it's more important than the actual visibility or like the construction of the art. It's kind of like how you write an essay. It's like, who's your audience was really big to learn for English. That's like, yes, it'll probably be your teacher, but you probably also want to write it for whoever you're trying to write about. So it was like something historical, and it's like you want to keep the tone, you know, based on who you think or like what kind of demographic you're trying to go for. More so, I guess it's always more important to like trying to make sure that all your other stuff is important, like the fundamentals. Kind of almost take like a very close backseat to just able to figure like who you want to do this for, you know. So I feel like just with my art and just trying to get the animations that I want to draw, I feel like my audience is just selfishly just me, so it's just kind of making sure that I'm always happy with whatever I draw. And I feel like if I'm happy with it, then chances are that more people will also like it too. So it also just helps. And it's like having a good, happy community is just as important as able to just make good art as well. So let's see, tail. Let's see. Give other doodles. Great. Yeah, I have a lot of my baby art. I think my mom wanted to scrapbook a lot of it. Maybe actually do manage to draw what you had in mind perfectly. It's very satisfying. Yes, exactly. I felt like when I was doing like some Inktober's for like this year, I felt like some of them like turned out really good. It kind of helps when you really have time to think about it too. Like, well, specifically with the Inktober stuff, it's like, okay, I can look ahead and see what the topic is, and because most of my thing was just trying to turn the word into like on its head and trying to think of another definition for that word. So then I might have to adjust it. So being able to have time as well to just think about what I want to make as well. Kind of helped with that too, where I was able to think about it enough like overnight, and essentially, and then say like, I'm gonna draw this the next morning and have this beautiful picture in my visual memory and go, here we go, and then just able to draw it. And if it turns out great, then perfect, you know, it's like, it's beautiful. Otherwise, just kind of has to be, you know, just like, okay, well, it didn't turn out exactly as I wanted, but there's definitely effort and a lot of feeling went into it. So just kind of just have to go with it. That's like, okay, and then always think like, what's the next one you gotta do? I feel like a lot of people get stuck into that they might think like, well, I drew this and it's not quite perfect, so now I just gotta live with this forever. But I just kind of always think about the future and then just kind of always keep moving and always growing and like figuring out like, well, I'm not quite exactly good at this, but I'm pretty good at this, like any kind of topic or anything that I'm drawing or something. So it's like, okay, let me figure out how to do that instead. So it's like, let's draw more cars, let's draw more environments, let's draw more perspective, and try to test myself with stuff like that to make sure that everything is looking good. So I see why digital artists like always erase, because like I want to make this look close as what it was as possible. So I feel like I'm fairly good at just getting at least most of what I've drawn is just this pony anatomy stuff, so I feel like I got pretty close to what this is. So I gotta draw her arms differently, just remember that. So I got pretty good at that, and then I try to do some landscapes and environments with the Inktober 2 as well. So I wanted to test myself with that. And I felt like I got at least just like an amateur version of what an environment's supposed to look like. So I was like, okay. Let's see. So I gotta draw the smear. How should I do that? And then whoop, and then whoop. Something like that maybe. So let's get that. Boop, boop. So that'll smear-ish into the next frame of it being over there. So that's straight out. Okay, here we go. Nearly done. This should be the last key, and then color it up, and then we can start thinking about a background. What kind of background do we think we should do? Because I was thinking it was going to be like some kind of a stage or some kind of spotlight, like some kind of brick background or something. Let me know what you guys want to see from this kind of background for this. Because remember, this is like some kind of breakdance motion. So I don't want to spend too much time either with whatever else you're thinking as well. So keep it somewhat simple. That's the word. Wow. Blinked on simple. Okay. Let's go dance for it. Yeah, I was thinking of something like that. I was kind of actually thinking like more of a comedy hall kind of stand-up kind of thing where you have a brick wall and something like that. So disco might work. Then we might need to have the for animate, which could be tricky. I'm just not sure, like, to keep it dirt simple for what we got. It's like, I'm not sure if we need it to animate or just need to be close enough. So that's where I'm trying to figure it out too. So if anyone else has any ideas for what kind of background it should be, I'll consider all of them. Let's get that going. Otherwise, could just be a horizontal line and then that'd be it. And then we'll say like, that's close enough. That's all we need. I feel like my stabilizer, it's not quite strong enough for I'm just freaking out. Okay. Screw that. Maybe once I colored all these, we'll see if there's any more. Is that right? Is that what I need? Bop. Bop. Yes. Okay. Just gotta make sure. Yeah. Gotta learn how to trace as well. It's actually a pretty good skill to learn. It's able to trace. Because if you do digital, like 2D animation, I'm seeing that there's a lot of going over exactly what you drew. So there's that. Okay. And then the rest of it will actually be, if you remember, it'll go from there and then essentially go backwards back to the beginning. So it'll go back again and then spin and then go back down, and then it'll just be a loop like that. So we've pretty much got all the keys in, so I can start coloring the ones that I have not colored or forgot to. Make sure I get all these. There we go. So, okay. Only have like a couple more minutes before the background goes away, and then we'll see what we get. Okay. This might take actually a bit longer if I don't know how to draw this out. I think our leg should be probably behind. Oops. There we go. Here. See, that's not quite working. Ah! Because something in here is not connected. Maybe this one? Nope. See, I'm not quite always sure. Like, I gotta go to like every one of these and see like, oh, is it close enough? Oh, now it's connected. That. But not quite. So I gotta check like each of these lines and see like whether each of these overlap each other, or if I'm just crazy and it's just like not gonna work and it's just like, how else am I supposed to do this? I filled that in. There we go. That's what it means. It's just like it's not. Flash will break apart all of the. All of these lines will be essentially become like one mass or shape. So Flash will do that. But OpenToon seem to be able to edit individual lines on that kind of a scale. So it's like, huh. It's a little bit different. So that's why it's a little bit tricky to like wrangle it to get it to color instead of just able to go boop and boop, 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 and go, what? It's not that. No, that's not working. And it's like, why? Yeah, how about now? Okay. You know, it's like, it's either not close enough or it's just not able to figure it out. Boop, boop. Not much more to say about this. Let's see. Yeah, we're doing. Nope, it says that that's not close enough. And I ask why. Okay. Imagine if this had like more colors or something else to it, and then this would be more of a hassle, where it's just like, it looks close enough. It's like if it was MS Paint, it'll just say like, ah, it's close enough, and then make the whole screen background become something else. Whatever color you had. So, glad that's not happening. You can't have overflow with this. It'll make everything outside be a different whatever color you had. But at the same time, it's just like, aren't these close enough? Like, why must you do this to me? It's like, come on. Excuse us. Yep. Okay. Anyways, this is... Yeah. Good thing is that I'm using a palette, so it's not... If I need to change any of these colors, it'll change every frame. For the whole timeline. So that makes that easy. Flash, you can do that too, but I think that was a newer update, so if you're using one of the older versions of Flash, then it won't. Check that. And palettes are like basically what I'm using now. So if I wanted to change this into green, then every time that I've used that color throughout the whole timeline, for the whole animation, it'll change to be green. With just like one click. So that makes stuff like that easy, but otherwise it's just kind of just happens, and it's like, okay, that's about that. All right, let's see what we've got. We'll do a challenge with MS Paint animation. How do you even do that? There's no frames in MS Paint, right? Well, that'd be fun too, where it's like you have to figure out like where your last picture was, not the onion skin is. Yeah, it's a challenge. Yeah, there's no frames or anything else to do with it. Oh man, that would be horrible. Otherwise we can go back to here. We can go back to the background. Let's just do that, and then I'll do the rest of the animation. Because I think that'd be more interesting to do the background. Let's get rid of that. Go here. And then if we unlock it, there we go. So, all I've seen so far is the disco dance. So, that's what we're doing. Okay. Let's, I think this is pretty good. Not exactly what a disco dance looks like, so we'll just have to, we'll sketch it out and then maybe I didn't scan it or something. It's maybe just some kind of spotlight, maybe. Or like more big. Something like that. But then it also has to have the checkerboard, maybe. Hit my mic. Sorry about that. There we go. And then we'll be in the background. I don't know. Let's see. Anything else from you guys? Otherwise, I could just make these little brick shapes, I guess. Kind of like that. Let's see. Too bad we'll go on for a little bit longer, just because I think if we do another stream of this, then it'll only be like 5 minutes. So I think we can just go on for a little bit longer for this time. Honestly, that's about it, I think, that we really need to do for this. And then we get that back on, and then zip, here's background. How's that? I can move maybe this. Honestly, the light should be layered on top, but meh. I don't think we'll have. We could do that. We could have the light on top, and then that looks good. Okay. What are some disco colors? Because they could be basically any kind of color would be. Something like that. So if I go here and then cut it. Oh, let's figure out how to do this. Basically, I just need to not do that. As soon as I want to do something a little bit different, it's like, I don't know how to do that. Okay. So we go here, go back here. Now I'll be able to see the onions and with this. So I can draw on top and then have a little sketch and then like move it back up maybe. Hopefully. Well, if I delete all of these, that should work. Good. Okay. And then go back up. Okay. Cool. Okay, so we'll just draw the beautifully straight horizon line there. We'll have to color it all, so we'll have to make sure that this is a square. And it connects onto itself as many points as I can. Test. So, okay. And then basically just go in and then add all of the lines again. Can make this a little better like that. As we're learning, 1-point perspective is important, so we can figure all this out and know that, oh, because we're looking at it somewhat of a distance, we can know that that's how that's supposed to look. Somewhat. Let's move these down. Can I do that? Nope, can't do that. Yeah, Flash works a little bit better. That you can, at least for a drawing program. Interesting that Flash draws a little better than this, at least in some aspects. So that's pretty interesting. See that we're not quite connected there. There we go. Test, 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 test. Okay. Before we get on too further with that, I'll have to draw it upside down so I don't hit the mic. Straight line. Straight line. Straight line. Straight line. That's not quite straight. You get better lines when you draw it a little bit quicker, so that's what I've learned. So okay, we need to make 2 or so, maybe 3 colors. Can you make a checkerboard out of 3 colors? I need to make a new color. Did that work? Where'd it go? New style, new page. I need new color. New style. There we go. What color should it be? We can change it anytime we want. That's the fun of it. We could complement her. Be more purple, maybe. Auto apply. A more bright. Let's make it that. Let's make a new one. change it to maybe green. Green and purple kind of go together. Here we go. You can always change it. Would any point animate background on flashlights? The point would be to make it look cool, make it like interesting. But otherwise, I don't see a point to it. At least for now, I'll just try and maybe because my opacity is low or something. It's not quite showing up. Oh, there we go. Like this opacity full. There's something else where it's like we can change the opacity there. Opacity full. Apply. So that worked. This one didn't. Apply. There we go. And then we can go here and then say the opacity is about that. That's why I didn't want it too much, because that'll be overwriting that. Maybe make it more grayish. There we go. So now we just gotta go back in and not do that as much. So otherwise we can make maybe like flash back and forth and then make it on 3s or something. But otherwise, I think we could just keep it like at this kind of level where it's like it's not quite too fancy, but it's like it looks fancy enough to go, whoa, that's trippy. Boop. And boop. There we go. And then we can make the new color. New style. Let's make it pretty dark-ish color here. And go boop. And now we need the texture on top. This is already looking marginally better than my cartoons, I guess. So now we just add these little shapes on tops, I guess. I'm not sure where I'm going with all this. So I guess otherwise I'll just have to keep drawing brick shapes. I guess that's what this is. So let me draw what a brick is. At least one of these should be like a full-ish brick, I guess, maybe. That's why some of these are like ups and tops and downs and bottoms. Something like that. Maybe we can make instead of brown, maybe we can make it bright. Maybe we can make it darker, but that's what the fun of it is, that we can change the color of it later. So we can change this maybe like red, maybe? That might work. Or we can make it like super dark. Maybe something like that. Then we can have the other color to match it. So I want to see it a little bit, but it's not going to be as shown. Okay. I agree. So okay, now I need to add a layer on top. New. I need to make a new thing. New note level? No. Maybe I just start drawing, maybe? Nope, doesn't like that. I'd like to make a new insert after. No. Forgot how to make a new thing. Let's see. Should be an easy way to just do that, right? This. New vector layer. New vector layer. J. Apply. There we go. We'll call this light. There we go. And now we go here. Yeah, hang on, this should be the last thing, and then we'll be good to go. If this works, we don't have a style. So, highlighter, nope. New, I go here maybe? I can copy this. It's possible there's nothing to paste, but I had something to paste. I have these colors. Yeah, there is. It's a vector line, right? There we go. That makes sense. Okay. Make it completely back to completely black wall with white circles represent lights. Ooh, okay. Let me get the light in. And then can't see what I'm doing. Okay. So that's a light, and then we change it to yellow. Change the opacity to half. Apply. And then add the background, which we want this to be 2. And then can I cut this layer out or go? Put this at the bottom, and then say cut, and then make this longer, and then not know why that's there. Bring that up, cut that. If I cut and then make that 2, and then make this 2, so it goes back to 1. Why does it want to go back to 1? I want it to be 2. Oh, that's dumb. Okay. This is where Flash makes more sense. Where it's like, I want this to be 2, but it's like, I'm not gonna. Want this. Can I cut this? If I delete this one, change this to 1, and then go back. Then you'll be like, well, there's no. That almost worked. Let's see. Hi, Brandon. I'm struggling with this. Let's see. I can move this outside of the box. And move this down. But I would like to delete this one. And then it's back up here. What? Thank you. As I don't know what I'm doing. But what if this is the same as this? And then we delete this one. Delete it. Please. Merge. Hey, that kind of worked. Move it up. Move it up. Okay. That's probably the wrong way to do it, but apparently that worked. So basically, we just need to change this into black. That's what we're saying. And then change these to be white, but like, instead of being brick, we'll just have them be, what's going on is a good question. If I apply it like that, and then if I erase that, we're changing the texture on this because we didn't like the brick texture that we got in here. So this is all iterative. This is all just playing around with you guys to see what works and doesn't. So I'm glad about that. So now we got here. I'll just add some, I guess, dots, I guess make it look like stars randomly. Boop, boop, boop. Stars asking if you're a bot. Maybe. That'd be interesting. So we got artificial intelligence for that. How's these stars looking? Because these aren't probably going to be the best. Either. This is what you wanted. This is where all those stars are coming in. Yep. Here we go. If you guys only wanted this to be done in 1 hour, then you got extended stream going on. That might be more fun though. Don't want to scare you guys even more than what the cop is gonna do, so I won't mention that. I want to move on to other platforms. Oh. Whoops. Oh well. I think we were fun though. Now it's right-sided. Okay. What's that? Some more. Beautiful stars up here. Okay. So now we got that one, that one, and that one. So we just need to delete this one, but also merge, I guess. Where's that button? No. So we go back out here. Here's not because 3 doesn't equal anything. But I'd like this to be 2, please. And then it goes to 3. So reframe step each. I would like this to be 2. And I would like this to be 2. I would like this to be 2. I would like this to be 2. Sorry about that. Did that work? Yay, okay. Then the light's gone because it's only on that one frame. So extend that. There we go. Okay. Loop. Hey, alright. Oh, okay. Let's see. Boop and boop. Uh-huh. So we can move this. So we can't transform this, maybe? Can I please? Can I move it? There, please. There you go. Please be taller. Please be... Oh boy. And make it lower. Yeah, alright. Okay, because I kind of went a little bit extended than what I wanted. I think this works pretty well. If I go here, there we go. This might lag, so it's already lagging on mine. But once it kind of like renders everything, then it'll be a little better. Okay. What was that animated backwards? I'm not sure what you mean. It should be going forward now. Boop. That's what we made. Okay. We will need the backwards, but this is just the half of it. And then I'll have to retime it to see if there's anything else we need to do, but this should be the bulk of it. So I'm pretty glad with how this happened, how this all turned out. It's like you guys were checking this out, how she does a little dance. So thanks for sticking around. I know this is a little cumbersome of how these kind of work, where they're not quite 100% entertaining. But I think they are for me, at least, because I gotta control everything here. Make sure everything's going good. See, okay. So yeah, she was going to be ending laying on the floor. Yes. Yeah, she will be. So I'll reverse the frames just because I don't want to do that thing. That'll be boring and everything else is. So I'll finish it. So the thing is, I will finish it. Any other touches I'll do, and then I'll put it on my DeviantArt, so you'll be able to watch it from there. Might be, it's not a swath, but I could. It'll probably be a PNG sequence, so I'll probably have to put that PNG sequence into Flash, wrap it up as a swath, and then it will work. Can you put, dumb question, can you put GIFs or GIFs on DeviantArt? I could do a screen again. I can probably just have a loop. But notice that it only goes halfway. GIFs are loaded yet. Okay. I can do that then. It shouldn't be too much. There's not many colors. The transparency might be interesting. Probably have two versions to see which one looks better, but probably the swath will look better. But anyway, it's probably not going to play. It's not playing playback exactly as it probably should be. So you'll be able to watch it better once I get this going, and then we should be good. I like her little space carpet that she has. Looks interesting. I'm seeing this, and that was a weird, like, picnic blanket now in space. And then she's gonna get tractor beam, but she's gotta like, oh no, I gotta dance my way out of here. So no, that wasn't the original intent, but now that's the only thing I can see now. So okay, no, that probably should be ending 20 minutes ago, but I wanted to make sure that everything's here before, you know, I had to see all the creative stuff first, and then all the boring, just retiming it will just be the rest of it, and then see if there's any other in-between stuff. Might add some more in-betweens. Probably add one more, like, here, even though there probably doesn't need to be. But maybe like a halfway blink or something. That should only be one frame, and then I can put it on both sides again. Rest of it is pretty good. Could be more smears and stuff to it, but it's the only smear that I got so far. How does that look? So, okay. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to my Twitch time. So, alright. Thank you guys. Still slightly, always paranoid about everything. So once this giant copper wrench is wrenching all my problems, it's like, I gotta worry about it. So, glad that, it's still a threat. It's still lingering. It's still like, what am I supposed to do kind of feeling, but, again, I decided to start. That's like, I feel like I'm going through all the phases of grief, or it's like at least today I was trying to figure out like how to bargain. So, I got through all my anger and sadness. Now that was tough. But now it's more bargaining, trying to figure out, well, what if I just, just forget about it and just say like my videos are not for kids? Then what happens? And I'll have everything, and then, if it eventually comes to fine, and whatever, we should be able to pay it. The 40,000 is just a scary, like, nearly maximum amount. I don't know if it's gonna be the average or just whatever. But for now, I'll just play it by ear, and then if the law becomes more specific, I would love that. Again, to see if it's becomes more like, let's target like actual kids content channels more so than you have a bright color, you have a sport, you have a cartoon, you must be kid friendly kind of philosophy to the bot and figure things out. I think that would be a little bit a little lighter to think about. So right now it's like I don't even know like what if I'm even safe or not. So right now I guess I just tested it. I don't need to be set to be whether I'm kid or not, kid made for kids or not with this live stream, because obviously the comments are able to work regardless if there's a cute pony on screen. So there you go. So it should all be fine, but I'm just taking precautions and going out to testing the grounds to see if there are other websites where I made a daily motion profile. So I'll keep posting different videos on there. I could plug that if I want. That'd be fun. Going back up. Hey, guess what? And then chat's gonna get a freak out. I made a daily motion account. It's dailymotion / Yoshi Greenwater, one word. Probably made 11 views so far out of my 3 videos. They're all videos that I've posted, so maybe you want to check it out there, which doesn't make sense right now because nothing's happened yet, but that's just another thing that I'll continue to pursue in different places where I might start streaming on Picardo or Twitch or something else I've never heard of, or I'm just allowing myself to have more options. It's basically all that is. So, whoop. That's basically what that is. So if you see that, that specific channel is me. I created that, so you can trust that one. But if you see anyone else post my stuff, then let me know. That'd be fun. To know about all those. Exactly, some kind of safety net where it's like, if I need to, you know, continue my art and everything else that I want to do, but I get strung up at the copy stuff, and it's like, I'll be gone otherwise. So yeah, it's good to have that safety net of just thinking outside the box, you know, literally of just making new accounts and posting on different places, which I've kind of done with like DeviantArt and Twitter as well, but not too much to that extent as having main content in quotes on my YouTube channel. So anyway, yep, I think that's about it before I go on about this for another hour or so. And so I can have enough time to finish this animation too. So I'll get this done again, and then I'll post it on the Discord and maybe anywhere else I feel to see fit. But anyway, this is really fun. We'll have to choose a different idea to do next time. So on Tuesday, I'll be looking for any suggestions you got for like do a stream about this, or like something close to what I do, so I don't have to get too far out. So we can do that for next Tuesday. Go ahead and keep the Discord with the stream ideas and whatnot, I called it. Get that going again. I'd like to hear what you think about that. I feel like it's more fun when it's like not always my ideas, because then it's like it's the Greenwater show. Watch me do a thing that I thought of, and you'll just watch. I want it to be more a community, so it's like if you didn't know, this was the whole idea of Apple Bloom dancing was submitted by one of you guys, which sorry that I forgot which one of you guys it was. But you all of you had great ideas, so I truly appreciate that we've come to a point, at least for me, that I'm able to outsource this a little bit. Cookie, thank you. So Cookie thought of the Apple Bloom breakdancing idea, so now you got that for 2 weeks of content. So thank you again, everyone else who either submitted ideas or had fun with the live stream. If nothing else happens, I would hope not. We should be able to reconvene on Tuesday. So thank you again. I'm gonna click the stop button. So thank you again. Bye bye.